What is this weakness, ladies and gentlemen, that Kalonzo has, that every time there's an election, people are aligning themselves, they ignore him as a potential presidential candidate? What is this problem that he has? As we speak today, Jeremiah Kioni was very close to him, talking about Eugene and Kalonzo. Right now he's talking about Matiang'i and Jubilee. Matiang'i and Jubilee. Which means Jeremiah Kioni and Jubilee team have already abandoned Kalonzo Musyoka. They've abandoned him. And as we speak today, even Riggy who had come on board has assumed that Kalonzo Musyoka exists. He has simply focused on the region called Western. You saw he had a press briefing, an interview actually, where he talked about Mlembe Nation, and eventually he ended up saying that if the Mlembe people join hands, of course, with the people from Mlima, they're able to take this country far because they'll be able to take the leadership of this country. From those two key figures, it shows very well that they have already shifted camp and they're facing different directions. Apart from that, people also believed that Kalonzo Musyoka and Uhuru Kenyatta are friends. So probably there's a likelihood that these people, they were able to work together, in that Kalonzo will be supported by Uhuru Kenyatta. But as we speak again, Uhuru Kenyatta has focused on Dr. Fred Matiang'i. What is this that Kalonzo has that makes him to be abandoned by leaders? If you remember before, in 2013 he was with Raila Amolo Odinga, and they were expected to clinch the seat, but they could not. In 2017, he was with Raila Amolo Odinga still. They could not still. They could not get it. Come 2022, Raila Amolo Odinga abandoned him and went for Martha Karua, who did not even deliver 50,000 votes. So there's a problem in Kalonzo Musyoka that makes many leaders abandon him, which I want to analyze here on this video today. But before I take you through, please, if this is the first time you're watching our videos, take a second or two, subscribe, and also like, because that's how you support this channel. For those who have been asking for my number, I'll always put it here for any support and also for any consultation or maybe sharing as far as the Kenyan politics is concerned. Now, let me tell you in simple terms. Kalonzo Musyoka, even not just leaders, Kenyans do not talk about him as a potential presidential candidate in this country. Kenyans do not. Therefore, there's a problem that all other people are seeing except he himself and, of course, a few Kamba leaders. What is this problem? The first thing, Kalonzo Musyoka does not have the mobilization that he needs, that a leader needs to go for presidency. He cannot come on board and mobilize, do a campaign, even a small one. We've not seen it anywhere. Whenever he tries to do something as a presidential candidate, from a distance you see a weakness of a person who is not able to talk to the crowd, who is not able to mobilize, who is not able to psych the crowd to vote even for him. So the personality of Kalonzo Musyoka, the calmness, does not make him attract leaders, even attract voters. And that's a big challenge as far as a person intending to be a presidential candidate in the country is concerned. So therefore, Kalonzo Musyoka has that big challenge. The second one is the financial ability. As we speak today, all the presidential candidates in the country must have the finance for them to go for presidency. But now Kalonzo Musyoka does not have that capacity. He depends either Uhuru Kenyatta, just like Matiang'i does, or maybe friends. And of which you can't depend on these people entirely. You must have your own backup. William Ruto used a lot of money in the campaigns for 4 years plus. Uhuru Kenyatta had a huge amounts of money. Raila Amolo Odinga had to get money from people like even Wanjiga and the rest. So Kalonzo has not had this ability to even bring people who can be able to give him money for their campaigns. As a result, he always stays a certain position so that he can be able to be a determiner. I'm saying a determiner because if you remember closely in 2022, Kalonzo Musyoka had to pretend to be seriously going for Ruto until the last moment. Until the last moment. Kalonzo Musyoka also, remember during Kibaki's time, he got his own MPs and then now akapita katikati. That's how they say it. Until he got the vice presidency. So in a nutshell, Kalonzo Musyoka has been positioned in some position that himself in such a way that he can be considered, he can be the determiner. Another reason that I strongly feel that Kalonzo Musyoka, as we speak today, is not considered to be a potential tough presidential candidate, it is the fact that he has always poor decision making. On what basis? Kalonzo Musyoka, in the year 2017, we had, actually even in 2022, before the courts ruled Mike Sonko to be out of the race, despite having Omar Hassan, not Omar Hassan, but Sharif, still they wanted Sonko to run for presidency. And all these people are from Azimio. He could not make a decision like, let's agree, this and that should not happen. We are of the same team. Therefore, let's keep off this. And allow one person to run because we are dividing the votes. But Kalonzo Musyoka did not listen to that, did not do that. So that was very poor decision making. Apart from that, even in 2017, Ali Hassan Joho was also being competed by a Wiper party leader, a Wiper party president, governor, for gubernatorial aspirant in Mombasa. That shows very well that there is a lot of what we call poor decision making in Kalonzo's side that makes him actually not to be considered by Kenyans as a potential presidential candidate in this country. Apart from that, as we speak today, Kalonzo Musyoka, he has not also made good decisions as far as moving even across the country is concerned. Kalonzo has not been to Kisii here except for a funeral, probably at some point. Kalonzo does not come to these regions. Kalonzo does not interact with Kenyans. Kalonzo does not give himself up for Kenyans so that it can be able to be vetted. As a result, he still fails the test in front of Kenyans to be a presidential candidate in this country. Also, Kalonzo does not take up opportunities. Still under poor decision making. After Raila Odinga had quit the politics of this country, we expected Kalonzo Musyoka to take over, to become a serious opposition person. Now, Gachagua has come on board and has overtaken Kalonzo Musyoka as if he never existed. Now, every decision making, every media is concentrating on Gachagua, what he says, how he says it, when and where. While Kalonzo Musyoka is on the other side, waiting for something to happen as well, also call for a press briefing, which is a very wrong motive when it comes to a person aspiring to be a presidential candidate in this country. I don't know what's your take, guys. Let me see it in the comment section what you think about Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka.